Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Neida and this is the part of YouTube where I talk about literally whatever I want. Today, this video is for all of you Gen Z / millennial cuspers. Is this just an excuse for me to talk about all the TV shows that I was obsessed with when I was in high school? Yes. I also think that if you are a person born between the years, let's say 1994, that's pushing it a little, but 1994 and like 1999. Now there's some caveats to this. 1994 if you have younger siblings, 1999 if you have older siblings like I do, then these are shows that you probably watched a lot when you were high school, middle school age, probably for most of these too young for them. The other thing about these TV shows is millennials were a little bit too old to be watching any of this stuff. I know that because my sister was born in 93 and she was a little bit too old for all of these TV shows. And Gen Z may or may not be able to get into it based off of what type of mindset they're in. You know, that's what distinguishes these TV shows from all the other ones that millennials and Gen Z may have grown up with. I just wanted to do like a fun little tier ranking video. So today we're gonna keep it nice, we're gonna keep it cute, we're gonna keep it short and sweet a la KCA and just go through this list of like 25 or so TV shows that I think are gonna be absolutely iconic to any Gen Z millennial cuspers who are here watching this video right now. If you are here watching this video, please consider subscribing to my channel. I make videos, like I said, about literally whatever I want. If there's anything that you like about this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. That really helps me to find other people who might be interested in the stuff that I am publishing on this here YouTube channel. Without further ado, let's get straight into the tier ranking. Okay, so these are the tiers that we have for our ranking. S tier, the godly television shows. We have It Goes There. Yes, that is the tagline from the early 2000s version of Degrassi The Next Generation. And they are S tier because I do believe that Degrassi The Next Generation is an S tier show. Is it amazing quality? No. Is it well written or well acted most of the time? No. But is it one of the most amazing programs I've ever seen with my own two eyeballs? Yes. So It Goes There is for S tier. These are the shows that are doing things in a way that the other girls just weren't doing. Innovators. And that is why they belong up there. Our next tier down is the character that died on Skins. If you've never seen the television show Skins, God bless you, because you saved yourself a lot of trauma. But every generation, there's like 3 generations on Skins. Every 2 seasons, there's a generation. Every generation, the best character on the show gets killed off. Now, that's in my opinion, can vary person to person who they think the best character is. But I believe that just a step below It Goes There, you know, the character that died on Skins, they deserved more than they got, deserve more hype than they got, more attention than they got, and or it's a great show. It's a really good show. It's just not going there. Do you know what I mean? And the character that dies on Skins physically couldn't go there because, well, they died. Next up, we have Tonight at 8/7 Central. That is the mid-tier. Almost every TV show I watched when I was in middle and high school was on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 8/7 Central. Not Friday because you know the girls want to be outside on Friday. Not me. Just inside watching reruns of Gilmore Girls and HGTV renovation shows with my mom. Tonight at 8/7 Central, it's a little bit mystifying. You know, could be better, could be worse, but it's not. It's mid. And I learned through the internet that a lot of people didn't seem to really understand what 8/7 Central meant. I didn't know that. It means it comes on at 8 p.m. EST, 7 p.m. Central Time. But Tonight at 8/7 Central are the shows that I enjoy, but I also understand that not everyone gets them, and that's okay. Next up, we have ABC Family Original Series. Not every ABC Family Original Series is necessarily going to be in this tier. I'm just saying that for the most part, ABC Family Original Series, including some that I did not include on this list, were worse than some of their other teen TV show counterparts. If you're getting an ABC Family Original Series, you could pretty much guarantee that it was not going to be good. Well, really, that it wasn't going to be amazing, but would be watchable. So those are the TV shows that are bad, objectively, but you can watch a few episodes. You could get through it if you have a stomach for horrible media. Finally, we have Beer Bad. Now, this is a little lore for my Buffy the Vampire Slayer fans out there, and for people who aren't into Buffy the Vampire Slayer, get into it. She's a queen. Beer Bad is the worst episode that was ever written, filmed, edited, and aired of the television series Buffy the Vampire Slayer. It was absolutely horrible. Essentially, Buffy drinks beer while she's in college and then turns into a caveman, and it's this like weird anti-drinking PSA. Mama, the girl is killing vampires. You're telling me she can't drink a little beer? Beer Bad. It's not just a bad episode of television, it is unwatchable. Those are our tiers. Let's get into our ranking. We're coming in hot. We're gonna start with The Vampire Diaries. You should watch Jenny Nicholson's amazing The Vampire Diaries video. She really just breaks down the entire series. Not even necessarily telling you everything that happened in it, like I do in my series on Degrassi, but just saying like the key points that you need to know if you are going to understand this cultural phenomenon. I just was like such a Twilight girly that I was like, why the fuck would I want to watch anything that has any other vampires in it? But then there was one day that I was sick and I fell asleep and woke up and it was on. Like the last few episodes of season 2 were on because I wasn't going to go searching for a television remote when I wasn't feeling well. I watched like the last 8 episodes of season 2 and from there I was hooked. I said, love triangle, a basic boring brunette as the main character, sign me up. I'm gonna put this in tonight at 8/7 Central because A, I'm pretty sure it aired at 8/7 Central. B, I will put The Vampire Diaries in the mid tier because my Gen Z niece tried to watch it and said that it was boring. Next up, we have Skins. That I'm absolutely putting it in that character. Exactly. I am absolutely putting it in that character that died on Skins, and this is why. A, I think it has wide appeal. You know, everyone's depressed. Everyone does a little bit of drugs, drinks a little, underage, whatever. We all have our young and wild phase. It's going below it goes there because it never quite reached the potential that it could have. I will likely make a video someday about the horrible final season of Skins, a character who had incredible potential to be great non-binary queer representation being turned into the most annoying caricature of a straight woman you have ever seen in your entire life. It makes me violent to think about it. I feel murderous when I think about the potential that there was in that for that final season of Skins. It's because they blew up their own thing. They built a house and then blew it up. So next up we have Teen Wolf. I'm gonna put Teen Wolf in, oh, it hurts, but tonight at 8/7 Central. The show is not good, but it is entertaining. It's not unwatchable. In fact, it's quite an enjoyable television show to watch for most of the earlier seasons. You have your quintessential dark white, shirtless werewolves. My only issue with this show is that when it went downhill kind of aggressively and for a very long time. I don't even know that I've seen anything past season 4. I think the last thing I saw there were kitsune. Where the fuck did the kitsune come from? Lydia was a banshee? It got a little Riverdale, except it never leaned into the camp in the way that Riverdale did. There's all these elements getting added in, and then it, to me, personally became unwatchable. Next up, we have the Carrie Diaries, which I love, even though they put Miss Anna Sophia Robb in the worst bust-down wig I have ever seen in my entire life. Should I put it in the character that died on Skins? I should. This is one of the better TV shows that the CW has ever put out, but it was gone too soon, much like the character that ends up dying on a generation of Skins. It also is much better than any episode of Sex and the City that I've ever seen, and that to me feels very Gen Z millennial cusper because I feel like Gen X and millennials worship at the altar of Sex and the City, and I've seen several episodes of the show and I don't quite get the thing. It doesn't make sense how the character in the Carrie Diaries is supposed to grow into the Carrie that we see in Sex and the City and Just Like That, because the Carrie in the Carrie Diaries is self-possessed, independent, good at what she does. She's really like trying to make a life for herself. For Sebastian, for Mouse is one of her friends from the Carrie Diaries. I don't remember what the other one's name is. Let me know in the comments down below. The white one. For her friends and her love interests from that time to never show up again in any Sex and the City media, like, I get the show, because the Carrie Diaries is a prequel that was filmed after the original show aired, but, like, in And Just Like That, where's Mouse? Where's Sebastian? Like, Sebastian can be her endgame now that Big is dead. Carrie is just way less insufferable, way more likable. It ended right as Samantha got onto the show and Miranda was coming the next season. We really could have gotten like gay 80s Miranda, and then like she aggressively suppresses it through the 90s. That's why she ends up doing a bunch of heterosexual shenanigans, and then by the 2010 she's ready to come out to the world again, but potential squandered. The Mindy Project. This show is absolutely the reason that we are currently plagued by the Mindy Kaling TV show where a South Asian girl falls in love with a white man who doesn't deserve her. This is the first one that she did. I'm gonna absolutely put it in tonight at 8/7 Central. This is a show that never quite reached its potential, but to me it's not because of external factors like with the other shows in The Character That Died on Skin. And this is not a read. I really hope it isn't. But I think there's only so much that Mindy Kaling can do. It's kind of like, okay, we get it. You're down for the swirl. Let's do something else. And like, even if there is a love interest who is also South Asian or who is some sort of person of color, you know that they're no type of contender, because what she wants is for the South Asian girl to end up with the white man. We saw the natural end of that in the Mindy Project, which is that the show never ended up being as good as it had potential to be. There's only so much that you can do when you are shoehorning relationships that don't necessarily make sense between people who aren't necessarily compatible just because you're obsessed with interracial relationships. I'm thinking about the black girl who ends up having a baby with that weird white man. It's very weird.
It's getting weird.
The Secret Life of the American Teenager. This is quickly going in beer bad. This is quite possibly the worst television show that I have ever had the misfortune of laying my 2 eyeballs on. And I watched the entire series. Like, when I tell you I was sat when I knew this shit was coming on Freeform, formerly known as ABC Family, I was like, oh my god, teen pregnancy, such a hot topic. I'm so intrigued to see what they do with it. The answer is absolutely nothing. The worst series finale of a television show that I've ever seen. You would almost think that they didn't know that it was going to be the last season and the last episode of the show when they were producing it. This was the series finale that they had been planning for. Like, they planned for this nothing-ass series finale. If you've never heard of this show, I recommend you never watch it unless you have a very high tolerance for disappointment. They all date each other. It's incestuous. It's stupid. I hate it. I almost want someone to watch it just so that they can understand the pain that I feel when I even just think about it. But I also I wouldn't wish it on I actually would wish it on my worst enemy. I hope people I hate watch this show. So next we have Veronica Mars. Veronica Mars is one of my favorites. You might notice a trend throughout this video in which I love a television show with a strong female lead. Veronica Mars certainly has that. I can't quite put it in It Goes There though, because once again, this is a show that had potential to end on a note that just sang. Unfortunately, the last season, a little bit off. The second season is probably like, it should be taught in television classes of how to produce excellent television, how to set up and unfold a storyline over the course of a 22 episode season. Veronica Mars is about a teenage girl who turns into a gumshoe detective because her best friend gets murdered when they're, I think, like right before they're juniors in high school. And her dad, like, used to be a cop. Then he opened a private investigation firm. So she helps him investigate crimes while also trying to figure out who killed her best friend. And it's the classic, you know, the prom queen is dead, Twin Peaks kind of trope. I finally watched Twin Peaks, and so, like, I get it now. We see these images of, like, this dead blonde girl throughout the season, and Veronica is dealing with loss. Also, like, dealing with being ostracized from her inner circles at school for reasons that I don't quite remember. I would highly recommend that you check it out. First season is great. Second season is even better. Third season is, it's okay. The fourth season doesn't exist, and the movie is pretty good. Supernatural. This is gonna ruffle some feathers. Supernatural, I'm putting in beer bad. I find this television show to be absolutely unwatchable. Super Hulock, if you've never heard of it. Have you heard of Super Hulock? Exactly. I just asked my Gen Z niece. She's never heard of it. There was a certain target demographic for Super Hulock, and I think nerds of the Gen Z millennial cusp were exactly the target. And also, like, Super Hulock was Supernatural, Doctor Who, and Sherlock. I think part of the reason for it was because it was available on American Netflix all at the same time. Supernatural, so boring, unwatchable for me. And all these people online were talking about how it was gay. It was not. Well, I mean, I guess in the final season that they had of the show, but I attempted to watch the show several times. I absolutely hated it. It wasn't good. I didn't like it. And that's why I never quite identified as a Super Hulock. Doctor Who, it's so good. It's basically this TV show about this like time traveling immortal person who, I was gonna say man, but like recently the Doctor has not only incarnated as a man, but if he gets like gravely injured enough but doesn't die, he gets reincarnated, or they get reincarnated into a new form. It's a show that ran on British TV for a really long time and then was brought back in 2005 with the Ninth Doctor. And if you're eagle-eyed, you see that the Ninth Doctor is the one that I have in the thumbnail here. I personally love the Ninth Doctor. I know a lot of people say that he didn't have enough airtime to really like get anything going, but I love Christopher Eccleston. I think he's funny. I like his little northern accent. I really enjoyed his chemistry with Rose. I actually like the Ninth Doctor's chemistry with Rose, who is the Doctor's companion. The Doctor like travels around the universe with a bunch of different humans. I like the Ninth Doctor's chemistry with Rose a lot better than the 10th Doctor's chemistry with Rose. Could have just been because I wanted Martha to end up with the 10th Doctor, and I still have to watch that video that's like Martha Jones deserved better. What is that man's name? The Stephen Moffat years. I think he's great for an episode, a story arc. It's not quite in his wheelhouse, I don't think. But I know that Russell T Davies is coming back and Ncuti Gatwa is going to be the Doctor. I am awaiting that with bated breath. When I tell you my breath is bated, I mean it. I'm absolutely chuffed. I'm so chuffed. Oh, speaking of Stephen Moffat, he also created the other leg of the Super Hulock fandom, which was Sherlock. Sherlock we're putting in tonight at 8/7 Central. I know, again, controversial. The first 3 seasons of the show, really good. The Moriarty episodes, absolutely amazing. When he started to obviously like notice the gay discourse about John and Sherlock on the internet, the like John Locke conspiracy, the show went downhill fast. And I think that is probably Stephen Moffat, in my opinion's biggest weakness, is paying too much attention to internet commentary on the TV shows that he's producing. Also, it really soured me on the show when I found out that Martin Freeman just like says the N-word. Allegedly, you know. It also made it hard to watch any Black Panther movie because I'm like, not their pet CIA agent being the white man who likes to say the N-word. In Wakanda? It's Bunheads. Bunheads is Amy Sherman Palladino's follow-up to Gilmore Girls. It's about a group of teenage ballerinas who live in a coastal town in California that is basically just West Coast Stars Hollow. Kelly Bishop is in it playing like the head of the ballet studio. Sutton Foster is in it playing Kelly Bishop's daughter-in-law who helps with the ballet studio. And oh, it's just chef's kiss, so good. It goes there. It goes there. I know you would expect it to be in the character that died on Skins because it was canceled after one season, after they had only produced 18 episodes, even though normally, at least like before streaming, a TV show would get at least 22 episodes in a season. I don't care. Those 18 episodes, yes, the first like 9, a little weird. The rhythm is just like a little bit off. The latter 9, They really gave it to me. It literally went there. This is what I wanted the Marvelous Mrs. Maisel to be like. And I really like that like young old aspect of Gilmore Girls, which we will of course talk about later on. But like we have that with Sutton Foster being like the Lorelai of the town. Wow, like all the girls, the main 4 girls in the ballet school are the Rorys of the town. And then we also have the Emily in the form of Kelly Bishop's character. That whole dynamic is missing from Marvelous Mrs. Maisel for me. I don't really care about white women doing comedy in the 1960s in New York City. Like is she performing in segregated bars? Like I don't care. I don't want to watch that. Next up we have Faking It. This is gonna go in ABC Family Original Series. This is a show that was never as good as it could have been, but never as bad as deserving to get canceled after 2 seasons. This is a show about 2 girls at high school in Austin, Texas, who decide that they're going to fake being gay and in a gay relationship with one another so that they can get popular. Because one of the girls has a crush on the most popular boy at school, and she wants him to like be into her because he thinks she's a lesbian, and he's like thinking that he's gonna turn her straight or whatever. And her best friend has absolutely no boundaries and will just do whatever she wants because, as we find out, she's secretly in love with the straight girl. This show has such a special place in my heart because I did used to watch it every single week. It's, again, an MTV TV show that is watchable, not necessarily good. Let's go into Pretty Little Liars, actually. So Pretty Little Liars is actually an ABC Family Original Series that is going into ABC Family Original Series. I guess this whole tier exists because it's for like TV shows that I fell off of, even though I really liked them in the beginning. I had a vendetta against Pretty Little Liars because I loved the TV show Lincoln Heights, and Lincoln Heights ended up getting canceled so that they could save money and use it to produce Pretty Little Liars. And I was mad. But once again, sick one day, there was a marathon of Pretty Little Liars season 1 on the television, and I said, so I watched all of season 1 and I was immediately hooked. Pretty Little Liars, iconic television show. You've probably seen Mike's breakdown of it. If not, I will link it up in the cards. It's absolutely worth the like 6 hours that he takes to go through every plotline in the show. And I really needed that because I stopped watching this show after like season 3 or 4. Pretty Little Liars has that same element of a mysterious person watching all these people while also including an actual mystery. Like, who killed this bitch? We don't know. I guess we'll find out when we find out who A is. They did lose the plot massively and very quick. With shows like this, you have to know exactly where you're going and why from the beginning and not deviate from that, even if fans figure it out, just because it's like, well, the fans are going to be on the internet sleuthing. What matters is your vision. Because if you're like planning on the fly, it's just gonna come apart at the seams. Which, speaking of come apart at the seams, we have Riverdale. This is going in the beer bad tier. Everything in that tier is one of the worst TV shows that I personally have ever seen. I know people enjoy Supernatural, so I'm not gonna dog you out on that. I don't understand how you can enjoy Secret Life of the American Teenager, and I don't understand how you can enjoy Riverdale. Let's be honest. The first season was a little bit cute. Okay, the little mystery elements that were going on in it, whatever. I do vividly remember, because I used to be obsessed with Sabrina the Teenage Witch when I was a kid. I vividly remember putting the pilot episode on the CW app on my computer at my desk when I was in college, because it came out my first semester of college, and watching the entire first episode and being like, wow, that was awful. That was absolutely horrible. I can't wait until this gets canceled after 1 season. Imagine my surprise when the girls all over the world were absolutely obsessed. Now, I have this on my tier ranking list because I feel like people around my age, so Gen Z, millennial cuspers, we all were like, the fuck is going on? What is this? I was texting all my friends. I was like, is this show good? Am I crazy? Like, what's going on? No, nobody had anything good to say about it. Now, people younger than me found more to enjoy on the show, and people older than me, older people always love like shows about young, hot people, and then in real life, the actors aren't really young, so they can like thirst after them. I will say one thing about Riverdale though, is that I tweeted this the first year that it existed, and I think I manifested the ending of the entire series. Recovery Road. that character that died on Skins, which funnily enough, two of the actors who star in this show were on the television show Skins. This was canceled after one season. Kyla Pratt is in it doing some absolutely nonsensical shit. Oh my god, Leslie Jordan is on it. Rip to him. It's a TV show about a girl who gets put in an inpatient rehab facility because she's abusing drugs, and then she has to figure out what happened to her on this one day where she blacked out. We will never know what happened to her unless we read the book that it was based on, but I don't know that the book is like in any way related to the TV show. So I really enjoyed this. If you've never seen it, it's one season of a TV show. I really liked it and I would highly recommend you watch it. This is a show that I wanted to put on this because I wanted to know if this was a psyop. Like, was this something that only I ever saw? This is Jane by Design. Now, Jane by Design is an ABC Family original series that is going in ABC Family original series. But the reason is because it never quite made as much sense as it should have. This TV show is basically a White Lives Matter form of True Jackson VP. White Lives Matter, yes, but also like if True Jackson was a liar, then her boss at the fashion company wasn't just like an absolute kook. But it's a teenage girl who gets a job working at a fashion house and has to lie about how old she is because they think that she's 26 or something when really she's only 16. I just have this very distinct memory of a scene where she gets like lifted up onto a kitchen counter and the guy that she likes is making out with her. But again, I don't know if I imagined all of this. I don't even know if this show existed. Andie MacDowell was in it, but like, was it real? You let me know. Next up, we have Awkward. Awkward is also going in ABC Family Original Series. Well, tonight at 8/7 Central. We'll put it in tonight at 8/7 Central. Because I have to say I did really enjoy the first 2 seasons of this show, although her mom is absolutely insane. Good show. Enjoyable. I never finished it. Once again, like most of the TV shows that are in the tonight at 8/7 Central tier, I just was like, this is getting to a point where it doesn't really feel like there's anything left to say, but they keep making it. Yeah, that's all I have to say about that. Next, let's do Degrassi. It goes there. Self-explanatory. I'm not going to talk about this way too much. I have an ongoing series right now that I'm making about Degrassi. You can check it out if you want to know anything about my thoughts about Degrassi. It's amazing. Fucking love it. Orange is the New Black. This is gonna go in ABC Family Original Series. The character that died on Skins. That took me a second. This show was so good when it was good and so bad when it was bad, and I just never finished it. As soon as there's a spoiler situation that happens in season 4, I think one of the main characters ends up getting killed, and it's like their whole commentary on police brutality. You could talk about police brutality without traumatizing a bunch of Black people in the process, mama. Made me very upset. I never recovered from it, and I never returned to the show because I was like, there's nothing else for me here. I literally was just watching it so that one character could have a happy ending, and they knew that, so they chose that person to kill off. Actually, it's perfect that this is in the character that died on Skins, because as with Skins, they always choose the person who I want the most for to kill off. Sick. We're gonna put Glee in tonight at 8/7 Central. That's not because I think it's not an excellent show. It is, though, because I did fall off at a certain point, and I'm in the process of trying to finish watching it with my niece. So whenever we get done with that, you will know my full thoughts. If you are a Gen Z millennial cusper like me, you were probably watching the show when you were way too young for it. But when it was good, it was great. When it was bad, it was some of the worst shit that was ever put onto television.
Work. Let's have a kiki. We're gonna serve and work and turn. Honey, it's turkey lurkey time.
I can't in good conscience put it any higher than tonight at 8/7 Central. Next up, we have Switched at Birth, ABC Family Original Series. I said with my chest that not every show in this tier would be an ABC Family Original Series, and yet there's 3 ABC Family Original Series in there. I don't have any excuse. Sometimes I feel like, did this even really exist? Or was I the only person who ever watched it? Is this the deaf representation that we deserved? No. But it's the deaf representation that we had. It was never as good as I wanted it to be, but I watched a lot of it because inertia will do a lot. We're getting into the final couple of TV shows. I think first we are going to go Parenthood. Now, Parenthood is, for me, the character that died on Skin. I loved it. I watched every single episode of it. I only watched this TV show because Lauren Graham was in it, and I was obsessed with Gilmore Girls when I was a child, and she's essentially playing like an actually poor version of Lorelai Gilmore. The character that she plays on this show is like low income. She does a lot of gig work. She's like struggling to take care of her 2 kids as a single mom. But then there's like all these other people in the ensemble cast. This is actually the show that I was introduced to Dax Shepard through. He's been in the news for some controversies recently. Mae Whitman is on it. She's the voice of Katara on Avatar: The Last Airbender. Really good show. If you've never seen it, I'm pretty sure it's free on Tubi. Highly recommend. So we have The Fosters. I'm tempted to put it in ABC Family Original Series because some of the plot points. I have attempted to rewatch the show so many times and I literally just cannot get through it. But I watched it every single week when I was in high school. What mental illness did I have? I'll put it in tonight at 8/7 Central. This is a show about a girl named Callie Adams and her younger brother Jude, and they're in the foster system. They end up getting fostered by a family named the Fosters. And Callie is the classic, like, tough exterior girl who had to grow up way too fast because she was orphaned from a young age and had to take care of her little brother. And her little brother is queer in some way, potentially, and like constantly being bullied about it and all of this stuff. So Callie and Jude come into this house with the Fosters. They have one biological son who is the son of the cop mom that she had from a previous marriage before she realized that she was gay. And then they have two adopted twins, Jesus and Mariana. Jesus was originally played by Jake T. Austin, but then he got fired, allegedly. So then they replaced him with Noah Centineo. So like the girls who know Noah Centineo from like To All the Boys I Loved Before, I know Noah Centineo from The Fosters. The most nonsensical subplot on this show, I would say, is probably that the oldest son of the Fosters, Brandon, so this is the cop mom's biological son, he ends up falling in love with Callie, who is the foster child of his two moms. Yeah, there's a whole will they, won't they, like proxy incest storyline going on throughout the earlier seasons of this show, this is why I say, what mental illness did I have? Because I was obsessed. Like Browley, I fucked with Browley hard, and I should not have, because now that I'm an adult, I'm like, ew, nasty. One of the final ones, and one of the namesakes for a tier, we have Buffy the Vampire Slayer. It goes there. I hate Joss Whedon, but if the characters on this show are not iconic, if the actors did not take them and turn them out, it's an amazing show. It's about a young girl named Buffy. Buffy is like your classic cheerleader. She's blonde, she's peppy, she wears the cutest clothes, and she's always at the mall with her friends, but she also is the chosen one, the one chosen to defeat the evil vampire scourge that is plaguing the earth. She has a best friend named Willow, played by Allison Hannigan. Again, the girls know Allison Hannigan from How I Met Your Mother. I exclusively know Allison Hannigan from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Allison Hannigan, there's a man named Xander who's worthless, but he stays throughout the entire show. And then there's her watcher named Giles, and the watcher is supposed to like give her information and guide her. Definitely watch Buffy the Vampire Slayer because it goes there. It's one of the best TV shows I've ever seen. And speaking of that, our last and final show is Gilmore Girls. And what does Gilmore Girls do? Fucking goes there. I love these bitches with my entire life. I am Lorelai Gilmore. I mean, I didn't get pregnant at 16, run away from my family, start my own life as a maid at a hotel that I later started working at, and then became the general manager of, while also raising that teenager to be a studious version of myself to replace me, the person who never got to live out my dreams of going to college and having this big bad life that I secretly earned for myself. But you know, I never did any of that, but like her personality, the way she talks, all her references, I love her. And Rory, were you a gifted kid in school if you didn't at some point over-identify with Rory Gilmore and then quickly become horrified at the fact that she never, spoiler alert, never really ends up making anything of herself? I would say no. I love the Gilmore Girls. If you've never watched basically this tier list is in order of, if you've never watched it, drop everything and watch it right now. Basically this tier list is in order of, if you've never watched it, drop everything and watch it right now. If you've never watched it, you could live without it, but it's pretty good. If you've never watched it, you didn't really miss anything, but it'd be entertaining. If you've never watched it, you didn't really miss anything, and it's watchable, but not great. And if you've never watched it, God bless you, because You dodged a huge fucking bullet with that one. This is our final tier ranking. What do you think? Do you agree with the rankings that I did for these TV shows? Were these seminal TV shows for you in your upbringing? If they were, let me know in the comments down below. If they were not, or if there's anything that I missed on this list, again, please let me know in the comments down below. This was a very fun video for me to make. I might make more tier ranking videos if you guys enjoy them, so definitely let me know. But thank you again so much for watching this video. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up if you like tier ranking videos and if you'd like to see more of this type of content from me. And that's it. Bye. See you in the next one.